As I know, you are one of the first ones to start cricket in Romania.
Yeah.
Could you walk me through that?
Sure.
Those early days of cricket Romania.
Well, I think it all started in the 2005 Ashes when three of us, and I wasn't one of them, but three of us, Charlie Crocker, Mike Roberts and James Codor, spent a considerable amount of time at the Irish pub watching.
That's in the city centre?
That's in the city centre, yeah. And they watched nearly every ball that was bowled in the 2005 Ashes, which was a famous Ashes series, yeah, which unfortunately England won 2-1. But every game was really, really good. And there were great players playing in it, like Shane Warne and McGrath and Vaughan and Peterson, Giles and Hayden and Langer, Gilchrist, all those great Australian players. And Flintoff was playing for England as well. He played wonderfully well, and so both teams were really strong. I always thought that Australia had the stronger team, but for some reason England played the better cricket. So it was that 2005 Ashes, and these three friends of mine, and they're well known in cricketing circles as having started cricket. We started the Transylvania Cricket Club. We called it Transylvania Cricket Club because we thought other clubs from other countries would be attracted to it, because Transylvania is a name that people might have actually heard of outside the country. They're probably more...
Because of Dracula?
Yeah, because of Dracula. They might be more happy about saying that they played against the Transylvania Cricket Club than against the Romania Cricket Club or Bucharest Cricket Club or whatever. So we called ourselves the Transylvania Cricket Club for that reason. We played amongst ourselves. We played about 2 times a year. A club would come from England to play against us, and once, maybe twice a year, we would go and play outside in England. And then after a while, we found that there were other teams in...
And where you used to play? What ground?
We played at Pescariu Sports and Spa on a synthetic grass football court. We played on a clay tennis court in the winter.
So the James that he gave the ground area later on?
A little bit later on, yeah. James Codor, the founder of Transylvania Cricket Club, had some land that he developed and made into a ground, and that was really good. That was a real place to actually play.
Yes.
We played at the rugby ground. We paid a huge amount of money to the Rugby Federation to play one game there in 2007. We rented that ground and had a game against an English team, and we beat them, and we were so happy about that, because that was really the first time we'd played against anybody from outside the country. And we were thinking, who can we play next? What about Zimbabwe? Bring it on, kind of thing.
And then how did you find out other teams exist?
Yeah, and then to our great delight and surprise, we found that there was a team made up primarily of Indians and a team made up primarily of Pakistanis that were in Bucharest, living in Bucharest and playing regularly, and maybe a little bit behind us in terms of development.
Less organized.
A little bit less organized, but, equally good players. Then we started playing against you, and I can actually remember the first time I faced Saad. I was... You know how he has a very short run-up?
Yes.
Well, we both remember Saad in those early days. And for your listeners who don't know Saad, we're talking about a guy called Saad Mohsin, who was just a wonderful cricketer. He was captain of the Romanian cricket team when he was here, and a wonderfully aggressive batter. Batted about number 3 or 4, I think, something like that, yeah, for his team, and played some really great innings for both his club team and Romania. And he was a great bowler as well, and an extremely fast bowler, but bowled off like a 3-step run-up. And I was... The first time we played, your club was Banassa Cricket Club.
Yes.
The first time we played Banassa, we didn't really know what to expect. And I was opening the batting and facing the first ball, and Saad was bowling the first ball.
And you thought a spinner is coming.
And I thought, this is going to be easy, you know. Look what kind of run-up he has. And then I'm facing... I'm not joking when I say that the ball was in the wicketkeeper's hand by the time I basically moved a muscle. So that was Saad, yeah. And if you're listening to this, Saad, yeah, we have very, very happy memories of you, both Ijaz and me. And
yes.
That's one lovely thing about being in Romanian cricket. You made some great, wonderful people, I think. I'm really happy that... I think it's for someone like me who's just white and privileged and, you know, coming from such a kind of a sheltered background in terms of, you know, I love it when I'm invited to eat, for example, and hang out with you guys, because it really is an insight for me into the kind of lifestyles you have, and your food is wonderful. You know, I'm really enamored of many of the things that Pakistanis do. I haven't been there yet. I feel really embarrassed to admit that.
So then later on, how club cricket turned into a federation here in Romania?
Right. Well, so we continued like this for a few years, and then I had a friend who knew this Romanian entrepreneur called Gabriel Marin. He found out from Gabriel Marin that Gabriel was interested in cricket, and he said, "Oh, you should meet Andrew Begg, this guy, this friend of mine that I know." So he introduced the two of us, and Mr. Marin said that he could be interested in doing something more serious about cricket. In those days, we were just a bunch of friends knocking around a ball once a week, kind of thing, without any kind of serious, without any intent, without any future. You know, we didn't see that it would develop into anything, that it would evolve into anything more serious than just having fun at the time. But Gabriel Marin came along and said, "Look, why don't we get a little bit more serious and put some kind of structure in place?" So we thought about this and thought, "Oh yeah, why not?" So Mr. Marin came to one of our committee meetings, put a plan in front of us. Before we were actually a federation, we were called a council, Consiliul Roman de Cricket, we were called. And that was basically a precursor to becoming a federation. And being a federation, you are officially recognised by the government, and you are able to get funding from the government for sports, and we have just built up from there. And then, of course, the next thing we wanted to do was become a member of the world governing body of cricket, the ICC. And ICC wanted us to be recognised as a sport under the auspices of Romania's Ministry of Sport. They said it was mandatory that we did that.
That happened in 2013?
We became affiliated with the Ministry of Sport in 2014. We became a member of ICC, an affiliate member. In those days, there were affiliate members, associate members, and full members. And we were affiliate members. I'm not sure what year it was, 2018, 2019. Everybody became associate members.
When did you resign from your club?
But I remember having a nightmare run of ducks, like it was like duck, 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 1, 2, duck, 1, 2 kind of thing. It was a season like that. I think maybe that was my last season. Yeah, for anybody who is listening who hasn't seen Moira of last year, you should have a look at Cricket Romania on Facebook, and you'll see lots of pictures of our ground. It really is a beautiful area.
I'll attach some drone pictures that we have.
It looks wonderful from the air. Yeah, drone pictures are great. To describe it though, when we were building it, there was some marshland very close by, and we were very intent on protecting. There's a protected species of water birds that lay eggs there and mate there, and we were very conscious of not disturbing them at all. We are talking about Moira Vlasier Cricket Ground, which is about 35 kilometres north of Bucharest. It's easy to get to in about 40 minutes from the middle of Bucharest on a weekend. If you're driving on a weekday, it's different because of the traffic, but it's an easy, comfortable drive on
towards Ploiești, right?
Yeah, towards Ploiești. Many cricket clubs and international countries that come here and play say that it's one of the nicest grounds they've ever played on.
Who are the founding members of this Cricket Romania?
Well, I would say James Kodor was one. Rangam Mitra. He was somebody who put his heart and soul into cricket like you never could imagine, and he was really the driving force of cricket in the early days. And we're talking about him in the past tense because unfortunately a couple of years ago, 3 years ago now, almost 3 years it is to the anniversary of his death, he very, very sadly died. But he is someone that we never forget.
And who is leading Cricket Romania now?
Well, my colleague Abdul Shakur is the CEO and the Vice President of Cricket Romania. He and I work very closely together. And Aaron Kumar is instrumental as well.
Lovely guy.
Yeah, he's based in Timișoara. And there is Gabriel Marin, and he has been kind of a guiding force through thick and thin for Cricket Romania from the very beginning. Gabriel is a businessman. It is a labour of love for him. It's not something that he sees, as a commercial prospect.
Few words for Arun.
Aaron, yes.
Sitting in Timișoara.
In Timișoara, yeah.
Bringing his team from Timișoara every year for every single match. His love for cricket. Love for Cricket Romania.
It's an incredible
How could you describe that?
Yeah, it's what, 500 kilometers away, something more, yes. Perhaps. Yeah, and he's been doing it year after year after year, driving.
I'm seeing from 2012.
Yeah, putting up with that drive, a convoy of cars coming down from Timișoara, playing those games, and leaving again, and then coming back again for the finals, which they nearly always won. Because they're all really good. No, that's dedication for you for sure.